Okay guys, so in this video we're going to talk about the top 5 EV stocks to buy now. EV, mean electric vehicle stocks. So to give you guys a quick visual example of why I think EV stocks are doing so well now, why they're going to do much better in the future. So let's take a look at this chart. So I got this chart from Bloomberg .com, and it's just a visualization of the global electric car revolution is set to take off. So as you can see here, we're currently around here. And by 2040, there's projected to be over 60 million electric vehicles sold per year. So for everybody that's talking about, which EV stock to buy, just remember that we're just in the beginning. Around just under 2% of all vehicle sales in the United States are electric vehicle stocks. So there's so much room to run. Whatever valuations you're looking at now, it's going to be nothing like that by 2025, 2030, and even by 2040. So if you're going to buy some of these stocks now, it's a good idea to take a look at several of them, not just to put all of your money in the most popular one, and to kind of get an overall view so you can find out which one is going to do the best, because some of these stocks have run up a ton, so there's not as much room to grow, while some of these companies have just went public this year. So the reason why I think that it's a good idea to get in 2020 is because sales are expected to take off even by 2021. So if you take a look at this article on Clean Technica, it says 2021 U.S. UV sales are set to increase 70% year over year. And here's a chart of the growth, guys. So just a year from now, it looks like EVs could eclipse 2% and even head to 3%. And I know, I'm not really exactly sure the percentage wise, but I would assume that every year more and more EV vehicles will be sold. So, obviously this is the perfect time to get in. Obviously the best time to get in would have been back in March when all of the stocks dipped, but now is still a chance. Let's get right to it, guys. I'll give you guys my top 5 EV stocks. Okay, so the first stock we're going to talk about is simply Tesla. So Tesla is probably the king of all EV stocks, and it's one of the most well-known ones. And the reason why Tesla is so good is because they've been producing electric vehicles for quite some time now, and the stock's done really well with compounded annual growth over the last 8 years. It's just done a phenomenal job of kind of leading the industry, and the fact that this is a 100% electric car company is really good. So some of the other stocks out there, whereas you're looking at General Motors and Ford and things like that, they're kind of late to the electrification party. And the good thing about Tesla is that Tesla is by far an innovator, and they're kind of the Apple of cars. So guys, Tesla is the first stock that I'm going to recommend in this video. And one of the things about Tesla is that it's currently trading at a pretty high price to earnings ratio, and there's been quite a run up this year. So as you can see from this chart, the stock is up over 363%, but I still think Tesla is a good growth stock. And if there was one car stock I think that would pay a dividend in the future once the technology becomes cheaper, I think Tesla would be one of the first companies to do that. And it would be really nice to see a dividend from Tesla in the future, just like Apple paid a dividend to its investors as the company became more mature. So guys, I'm going to give you guys the second stock. Okay, the second stock I'm going to recommend is NIO. So NIO is basically kind of like the Chinese version of Tesla, and I was talking about NIO even last year. For you guys who have been subscribed to my channel for a while now, I was posting videos on NIO when it was around like $2 or so. Basically, NIO is like the Chinese Tesla. China is the world's largest car market, so it would make sense to have some investment exposure in NIO. So NIO's done really well. The company's over $50 billion in market cap. And so I'll show you guys a little bit more information. And the company is setting record deliveries, and it was a slow start, but things are picking up in the Chinese EV market. And the good thing is the Chinese economy is bouncing back a lot faster than a lot of other economies. So NIO is definitely my number 2 pick for electric car stocks. I think Tesla and NIO are probably my 2 favorite ones. I think obviously NIO has a lot more room to run since it's just at a lower market cap. But I think you can definitely do both if you pick one of these. So now I'm going to give you guys my third pick. Okay, so my third pick is BYD. So maybe some of you guys, you aren't really familiar with the Chinese vehicle market. BYD is basically, actually, it's majority owned, not majority owned, but Berkshire Hathaway has a large stake in BYD. And this is another manufacturer of electric vehicles, but they don't just do electric vehicles, they do other things like trucks and things like that. So they're kind of diversified. And to give you guys a little bit more information on this company, since I don't really hear it talked about a bunch, but as you can see here from Google, it says BYD produces battery-powered bicycles, buses, forklifts, solar panels, rechargeable batteries, etc. So the one thing about this company is that it's not trading on the NASDAQ or New York Stock Exchange. It's trading on the OTC under the ticker symbol BYDDY, and it's an ADR. So that's pretty much, I think, one of the reasons why maybe a lot of people haven't heard of the company, but it's had really strong performance, just like many of the other EV stocks. And I want to show you guys a little bit more about kind of the market cap and things like that. Okay, so the company is trading at around a $71 billion market cap according to Yahoo Finance, and it does pay a tiny dividend. So the fact that this company is involved with Warren Buffett, and you know, it obviously has a lot of positive things going for it, and Berkshire Hathaway has been invested in this company for quite a long time. So obviously the stock doesn't have nearly as much volume, and actually this is the ADR. There's also another ticker symbol that goes by okay, there's another ticker symbol that goes by BYDDF. So you know, usually I would just, this one is the actual, it's not the ADR, the American Depository Receipts, is on the OTC. Normally when I buy a stock in a foreign company, I just try to get the ADR. So if you were to buy this stock, I would just recommend going with BYDDY, so you can actually own the ADR. But depending on which one you want, whether you want the American Depository Receipts or you want the actual stock itself, BYD is definitely a good choice. Okay, so moving on to the next company. Okay, so moving on to the next company is Workhorse Group, ticker symbol WKHS. So Workhorse is kind of a speculative play, and the stock ran up a ton this year on speculation that they would win the lucrative USPS contract. So basically what's going on is that USPS has to replace an entire fleet of aging trucks. You know, for you guys in the United States, USPS is the main mail delivery company, and they need to electrify this fleet. So now, you know, because of the whole pandemic situation, the contract has been put on, they're not really sure who's going to win the contract, but I think that Workhorse is probably the best candidate for it. So if you take a little bit closer look at the company itself, it's around $2 billion market cap, and it was up at around $30, and it's sold off quite a bit. So if you guys are looking to kind of own a company that's going to generate a lot of revenue through government contracts and things like that, Workhorse is a good choice. This is my fourth favorite stock, guys. Okay, then moving on to wrap things up with my fifth favorite stock to play, electric vehicle stocks, or stocks I think can make you a lot of money. My last pick is Solo, and this is probably my fifth and most speculative pick out of all the other four. And the reason why I like Solo is that they're kind of revolutionizing the way people transport. So unlike most of these companies, their flagship car is called the Solo EV, and it's actually a single-seated car. It looks more like a hybrid between like a car and a motorcycle. So the reason why I'll give you guys a picture of this car, if we could take a look at it really quickly. So the reason why I like this car so much, as you can see here, here's a picture of the car. It's like a three-wheeled car. So the reason why I like this car so much is simply because this plays right into the whole social distancing motive, where more people are spending time alone, and more people are living in the city, and when they're commuting to work or to school or things like that, they're usually doing it alone. So by, you know, a lot of people spending money on like a four-seated car, most of these cars are going to be costing $20,000 and up. And look at how much a Tesla costs. You know, Tesla, basically the cheapest Tesla you can get is like $30,000 or up. So this car is much cheaper. It's selling at around $18,500. And instead of having a huge car note, you can have a much smaller car note and still have a nice car, electric car, that can get you around the city. So the company really hasn't generated any revenue yet, and they're planning to launch their cars later this year on the West Coast. So I'll definitely update you guys on that. But that's my fifth stock. Ticker symbol is SOLO, Solo. So to recap, guys, number 1, Tesla. Number 2, NIO. Number 3, BYD. Number 4, Workhorse. And number 5, Solo. So I think if you stick with these 5 stocks, I think you're going to do really, really well, and your money is going to grow over time because, you know, the whole point of the stock market is to build a portfolio of companies that generate revenue and earnings, and as those companies' earnings lift over time, the value of your portfolio will lift over time too. So I hope you guys got a lot of value out of this video. Be sure to leave any comments you have about any of these stocks I mentioned. If you guys have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them in the comments. And if you're new to this channel, smash the subscribe button. About 86% of you guys watching my videos are not subscribed to my channel, so please smash the subscribe button to get future videos from me. It really helps. So that's it for now, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Take care.